Hi everyone, I'm Somya, and today I want to talk about the innovation dilemma that we face during this time. So in today's landscape, launching a new product is not just about getting the product taste right or the packaging right. It's about bigger two things that we often miss. That is, one, trends, and the other one, the timings. But how do we understand which trend is worth latching onto? Because there are millions and millions of trends happening every day across internet. It could be an Instagram trend, it could be a Zomato trend, it could be something as regional as Dolly Chai Wala or even Gond Katira, or something as global and big as Dubai chocolate or Pan-Asian or even your Korean wave. So the trends are happening across, and to my surprise, when we actually see, we often think that it may be just a tier 1 phenomena, but when we met consumers, we realized that even people from tier 2 and tier 3 cities know about these trends. They aspire to participate in these trends, and somehow they're also managing these trends in one way or the other, right? So for us, the challenge started to understand, okay, what are trends, where all it's happening, and which is the right trend to latch onto. So we started off with a very simple question, where all these trends are happening on. So it's happening on social media, it's happening on sources like Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, Google search, even your blogs, forums, reviews, Zomato, Swiggy, and e-commerce, everywhere. So we took all these sources, scraped millions and millions of data points, and bucketed them as trends. And now, we wanted to understand, okay, which trend is gonna stay for long, or which trend is at a very nascent stage. So understanding the life stage of a trend was a challenge. So for that, what we did was, we created a model that was based on, that helped us decode the life stage of each trend. Here, in this model, we've fed in years of data to kind of understand that, okay, what is the volume of the trend like, and what is the growth of the trend. Here, each stage represents where the trend is. For example, emerging would be something that has potential to become big. Growing would be something that is currently trending and currently growing. Mainstream is something that has high volume, but the growth is not that much. And declining is something that has growth in negatives. So we mapped all our trends in this model and went ahead with all the trends that ended up in emerging and growing, and took them into our step number 2, which was further shortlisting trends basis your demand and supply model. So this is a bit complicated, so just try to be there with me. Here, we have taken 3 big lenses. The first lens being the demand, like how people are talking about it, how is it growing, which is your x-axis. It increases as we move from left to right. Then the other lens was how many products that are available in their market of that trend, which is your y-axis. It increases when we move from top to bottom. And from this, we got 4 quadrants. And the ideal quadrant in the innovative space for us was this one, wherein we have high demand and high growth. However, the number of retail products available are less. Therefore, this breakthrough innovations was the ideal quadrant for us. As you can see, all these bubbles are trends, and the size of the bubble is actually our third lens, which is nothing but food service products. Why food service? Because a lot of times food service products trends translate into retail service. So they're trend indicator for us. The larger the bubble, the more food service products. So from this, we were able to further shortlist basis the market fitment. And then we didn't stop here. So we wanted to understand each trend in its entirety, wherein we wanted to understand 3 big questions about every trend. First, who are these consumers who are talking about these trends, right? And then how can we cater to them? Is there any need space where we can come in and help with our product? And the third question being, if we can derive any category codes or any product codes that we can actually incorporate in our product. So for this, we launched in-depth social listening exercise to understand each trend. We mapped all the possible social listening sources and tried understanding the nuances. For the sake of an example, I'm taking matcha here. This is the conversation word cloud like. And to our surprise, people were actually talking about nuances like the taste of the matcha. They call it, it's a bit bitter. However, they like to pair it with citrusy fruits like berries, mangoes, to kind of add that freshness. They were talking about the color, that they want matcha to be green in color, powdery in texture, and they're currently consuming as beverage in a format, but they're also very experimentative. So they're looking for newer formats. When we mapped who are these consumers, we actually tried creating consumer personas and realized that these are consumers who are health seekers, they are digital natives, they like to follow trends, and they're experimentative, so they're open to more formats. Now we took all these 3 learnings and we wanted to arrive at products. So what we did is, what is the fastest way to create products using technology and Gen AI? So we used all these learnings, fed it into our Gen AI Coder product concept generator, which then generated a lot of concepts in just a few clicks. Now, again, another problem with technology is that it gives you a lot of data. So we ended up with a lot of products. Now we wanted to further shortlist. For that, we have an evaluation model in place, wherein the model evaluates each concept basis 2 key metrics. One being the relevance, how relevant your product is for the consumer. So it maps all your ingredients, all your textures and everything, and map it with the kind of conversations that people are having on the internet. Higher the relevance, more relevant your product is, or more relevant your product is in the mind of the consumer. Second being uniqueness. How unique is your product, and how will it stand out in the market if you're going to launch it? So how this maps is, it takes into consideration your product claims and USPs, maps it across with all the existing products that are there in the market, and then gives a score. So the highest score on both the metrics is our ideal product. So from this, we were able to shortlist 3 big products, and then we took it further into into consumer research, and post that, again, we started developing the product, and then right now, currently, it's in pipeline. So with the help of this end-to-end approach, right from understanding trend, decoding them, understanding the life stage, shortlisting, creating products based on actual consumer trends and their actual need spaces that they're talking about it. We've taken consumers' point of view in each and every step of the project. And along with this, this would not have been possible without the collaboration with multiple agency partners, technology, of course, and the real-time consumer data that is scattered across internet. So with this, we were actually able to shorten our NPD process. It used to take us at least 6 to 7 months. Now, with this technology and the help of a lot of collaborative agencies, we were able to drill it down to 2 to 3 weeks, which actually helped us in shortening our time to market and crack the 2 big T's that I talked about, one being the trends and the second one, timings. That's about us. Thank you so much.
Hi, thanks. Very interesting. We'll move on to the Q&A. This is about the data that you said that you scraped. This is all from digital platforms. Is that right?
Yes.
So the question is, how did you scrape data from social media platforms for this study? What kind of tools would you use, given that most of these platforms are encrypted and not serviced by platforms like TalkWalker, etc.?
So for this, we have partnered with a lot of social listening tools, like you said, TalkWalker, NetBase, and etc. But however, we use multiple tools because they don't crawl your Swiggy, Zomato, right? So then we have another partner tools, wherein tools specifically crawling your e-commerce, quick commerce. So we gather data from there, and then another set of tools to crawl your on-shelf products. So. Yeah.
Which also gives us a sense of what is happening globally, what are the things that are trending. So there are a whole host of tools. There is no one tool that will give us all the answers. So therefore, that's how we've done this.
Okay, a related question was that if this is all digital data, were you convinced that it was representing the lower tiers and older audiences, etc., rather than just the younger audiences and digital savvy people?
So on the internet, if you'll see, everybody is there, right? India's broadly 76% of the population has mobile phones. So it is not, because maybe my example was very digital native and Gen Z, that's why maybe I think this question. However, we could make personas for even older audience for our product range which caters to that older TG, because anything and everything on the internet, be it tier 2, tier 3, be it young, old, we could track it online.
Okay, also you have used AI in this a lot. So the question around this is, how do you ensure AI-driven trend spotting doesn't flatten the cultural nuances?
No, so that's why I think it's important for us to give in the probes through what we've understood, right? If we are just using the AI to sort of generate products on Matcha, we'll probably get, something very similar to what it would generate maybe in Germany or UK. But over here, what we are doing is through our listening, we are putting in all the probes that we want them to sort of incorporate in their concepts. And hence, that sort of gets customized for us.
Okay, and the question that must be asked in India is, all trends won't hold for pan-India. So what is the solve for that and for regional launches, etc.?
Yeah, so wouldn't say that we have all the answers right now, but there are a lot of sources that are giving us some nuances, whether it's in terms of food services, what is trending where, or whether it's in terms of what's working more in Uttar Pradesh versus Tamil Nadu. We are getting some nuances. Right, so yes, it's there. I'm sure in a couple of years' time that's going to become more robust and more mainstream. There are certain sources, so that's the short answer. There are certain sources which gives us some understanding, but yes, it's only needs to get better, which it's getting day by day.
All right, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.